Hello students, in this video we will discuss the remaining derivatives of skin. The first one is nails. What are nails? Nails are hardened keratinous plate-like structures which grow as dead cells from the nail root, and this nail root it lies below the skin at the base. Now you can see these are the hard keratinous dead plate like structures, and these are the nails. And nail bed means it is the root of the nail which lies below the skin at the base. Then we will discuss the different parts of the nail. First part, plate. This one I have already told you that it is hard and outer part of the nail, and it is made up of dead keratinized cells. That's why we feel no pain when we press this nail. Just like this we feel no pain because the cells here they are dead. Then second part of the nail, it is the bed. Bed means it is the root of the nail and it lies below the nail plate, just below the skin at the base. Then third part of the nail, it is known as the matrix. Matrix lies just below the skin surface at the base of the nail. The root of the nail, it lies just below this skin, just below the skin, and it is usually visible as whitish half moon at the base of the nail. This matrix, it is also visible in the form of a white moon. Students, you can see on your nails, there is here at this base there is white moon like structure is present here. So this white moon structure, it is actually the matrix part of the nail, and these white moon like structures, it produces new cells, and these new cells, when they get mature, then they push out the older cells towards the tip of the nail, and now these older cells they get mature and they get dead now, so they are pushed towards the tip of the nail. So in this way the growth of the nail occurs. So it is about the nail. Now the next derivative of our skin, it is the sebaceous glands. Sebaceous glands usually means oil glands, and these glands they usually open into a hair follicle, though sometimes they even open directly to the outside. Now students, you can see in this diagram, now you can see here that this one is the sebaceous gland, and this sebaceous gland it usually opens into this hair follicle like structure, and sometimes directly it open to the outer surface. Now they give out an oily secretion, and this oily secretion it is known as the sebum, and this sebum it makes the hair and the outer surface of the skin oily and waterproof to keep the epidermis supple and to prevent loss of water by evaporation. So what does it mean? It means that this oily secretion it makes the surface of the skin oily and waterproof, and in this way the epidermis it gets supple. Supple means the epidermis it becomes flexible so that it can be folded and it can be bent easily, and it also prevents the loss of water by evaporation, and it keeps the moisture in the skin. Now in cold and dry weather, this secretion of the sebaceous glands it gets reduced. So that's why our skin, due to the reduced secretion of sebum, our skin it may become rough, and if we scratch the skin, then it leaves a powdery substance or a powdery surface. But in hot and humid weather, the skin becomes extra oily because the secretion of sebum it gets increased by the sebaceous glands. Now there are three common problems which are related to sebaceous glands. First problem, it is known as the pimples. Now pimples they occur when the sebum means oil, it gets accumulated at one spot on our face or on any other area especially on the face. When the sebum it gets accumulated at one spot, then it causes the growth of bacteria there, because this sebum it is highly nutritive, because it contains the oil, so it is nutritive. So that's why the bacteria they get the nutrients, they grow in this way. The growth of bacteria occurs here. So due to the growth of bacteria, that part of our skin it gets infected, and it results into the formation of boils and pimples. Now the second problem which is related with our skin, it is the acne. Sebaceous glands, then they get inflamed due to hormonal influence. Due to hormonal influence means during the young stage, during the adolescent stage, there is an imbalance of hormones in our body. So when there is an hormonal imbalance occurs, then these sebaceous glands they get inflamed, and when they get inflamed, that it results in the acne, and it is one of the commonest problems in adolescents. Then third problem, it is the blackhead. Blackhead means when the sebaceous glands of the face they get enlarged due to the accumulated sebum. Means when the sebum it gets accumulated at one spot, then that spot at that spot the sebaceous glands they get enlarged, and when they get enlarged, then they come in contact with the air, and on coming in contact with air they get oxidated, and then the melanin and sebum they give it a black color, which is known as the black head. So it is all about the problems of the sebaceous glands. Then our next derivative, it is called the sweat glands. Now each sweat gland it is a simple coiled tube consisting of two parts. One part it is known as the deeper secretory part, and the other part it is known as the outer excretory part, which runs upwards to open to the surface. Now students, in this diagram you can see that this is a coiled tube like structure, and this coiled tube like structure it is known as the sweat gland, and this lower part it is the secretory part of the sweat gland, and the upper it is the excretory part of the sweat gland, and this excretory part it opens on the surface of the skin in the form of sweat pore. So this secretory part it absorbs the fluids from the surrounding cells, and some salts they also get contained in this fluid. So in this way the secretory part it takes this fluid to the upper excretory part, and then this fluid in the form of sweat it comes out on our body through sweat pore, which is known as the sweat. So it is all about sweat. Now the total number of the sweat glands in our body it is estimated at about 2 millions. Now the people who are living in the hot country, they are usually having more sweat pores than the people who are living in colder countries. Now this I have already told that the secretory part of sweat gland absorbs fluid from the surrounding cells and blood capillaries of the dermis and passes it into the excretory sweat duct, which pours it out on the surface in the form of sweat. Now students, this sweat it is also known as the perspiration. Sweating it is also known as the perspiration, and it goes on at all times, sometimes in minute quantities when it is not visible, but sometimes in large quantities when we are doing the strenuous physical exercise, or sometimes during hot and humid weather. So it is said that at that time means during the strenuous physical exercise or during hot and humid weather, a person he may lose as much as 1 kg per hour. And the main function of this sweating it is to lose body heat by evaporation, because we people know that the process of evaporation it needs heat energy. So when this process of evaporation it occurs from the surface of our body, then it needs energy, and this energy it is provided to this process of evaporation from our body. So in this way the inside our body the heat it is coming outside for the process of evaporation. It means the heat it is lost from our body. So in this way this evaporation of sweating it maintains the temperature of our body, because in this way the normal temperature of our body it is maintained. Then sweat about the composition of sweat. It consists of about 99% water, 0.2 to 0.5% salts, and traces of urea. Now these salts, they are mainly in the form of sodium chloride, and urea, it is only 0.08%. And this urea which is lost through the sweat, it is very small. The quantity of this urea, it is very small as compared to the total quantity of urea which is excreted by our body. Now sometimes students, we may experience cold sweat. Now what is this cold sweat? This cold sweat, it is also a form of perspiration, but it occurs due to some psychic influences. Psychic influences means when we will get frightened or sometimes we will get nervous, then this cold sweat may occur. So sweating, it may also accompany nausea. Nausea means vomiting and severe pain due to the loss of body salts. So it is all about these sweat glands. Now students, we will discuss the mammary glands. Mammary glands, they are also known as the milk glands, and these are actually the modified sweat glands. So students, many times this question comes in paper that name the modified sweat gland. Then you have to give the answer mammary glands. Now these glands, they are present both in males and females, but in males they are not much developed. Means they are present in rudimentary state, while in females at the time of puberty they get more developed or they get enlarged in the form of a pair of breasts. Now each breast, it carries a central conical part which is known as a nipple, and this nipple, it contains about 15 to 20 milk ducts, and these 15 to 20 milk ducts, then they get branched and then they continued inwards in the form of a cluster of 15 to 20 lobes of the mammary glands. Now the main function of these mammary glands, it is to secrete milk and these mammary glands, they become more active during the state of pregnancy, and this milk which is secreted by these mammary glands, it is highly nutritious for the newborn baby. Now our next part, it is the meibomian glands. These meibomian glands, these are the modified sebaceous glands. Again there is one question, name the modified sebaceous glands. So you have to give the answer meibomian glands. And these meibomian glands, these open on the margins of the eyelids, and their main function, it is to secrete oil which serves to lubricate the margins of the eyelids so that the overflow of tears, it can be prevented. The next one, it is called as ceruminous glands. Ceruminous glands, again they are modified sebaceous glands, and they are mainly found in the auditory canal in our ear, and their main function, it is to secrete wax, and this wax, it is also known as the cerumen or ear wax. Now this main function of this ear wax, it is to lubricate and protect the delicate eardrum of our ear from the dust particles and germs. So students, it's all about our today's lecture. So you have to go through all the topics, and in the next video we will discuss our next topic, that is skin and heat regulation of body. Until that, bye bye.